guys. Before getting started, let me just introduce myself, as this is our first class. I'm Divya. Just give me a second. I'm so sorry. Give me a second here.
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys. So yeah, before starting, let me just introduce myself. I'm Divya. I have about 7+ years of experience into data analytics. And currently I'm working as a data analyst in one of the MNCs in Hyderabad. And I completed my master's in data science. And I have about 4.6 years of experience into trainer. That is online training on data analytics. I have experience in teaching all the concepts like SQL, Tableau, Power BI, Python, statistics, and machine learning. Okay, so this is about me. So here you all are here today to learn about SQL, right? So let's get started. Basically, SQL is nothing but, if I talk about the full form of SQL, it's nothing but structured query language, as all of you know. SQL is nothing but structured query language. Before understanding what is SQL, please let me know how many of you are here completely new to SQL. Are you anyone here are are you from non-IT backgrounds or IT backgrounds? Do you have any knowledge on SQL, or is this your first time trying to understand about SQL? Please tell me.
Hello.
Yes, Rama.
Yeah, I'm an IT.
A non-IT, so you're completely new to SQL, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sachin. Fine. And what about the remaining students? You can even text me in chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can talk.
Yeah, from non-IT background.
Okay, so you're completely new to SQL, right? Okay, all right. So the reason why I'm asking this in the sense, here in my class, maximum mostly in every batch, I will get the students from the non-IT background. For IT students, if if they are from computer science background, they will have some, we have one subject called as DBMS over there. They will have some knowledge. Or else from non-IT students also, nowadays there are many resources. If you have some knowledge is also fine. Or else also, if you don't know completely, you're completely new to SQL also, that is really okay. In my class, I will teach everything from scratch. Okay, if you don't know anything also, that is okay. From today, you will completely, you can able to understand what is SQL, because from that, from that kind of perspective only, I will teach everything from the scratch very clearly by taking many examples, so that you can understand the subject easily. No worries about that. And as I said in my introduction, I said I am basically, a data science professional. I belongs to data science. I can say SQL is the backbone for any domain in IT industry. If you are a fresher, if you want to start your career, or if you are a non-IT, non-IT professional, and if you are trying to transit your career into IT stream, anything, whatever it is, if you whatever domain you choose, you need to know SQL. SQL is the, I can say it's a basic language, it is a minimum language, and I can say, I will definitely say SQL is the backbone for the complete IT industry. Irrespective of any domain, you should learn SQL properly. If you have a strong knowledge in SQL, then you will create a strong base in the IT industry. Okay, and especially as I am a data science professional, I can say the reason why I'm asking you about how many students are from non-IT industries. I know many of the non-IT professionals or students, they will try to transit their career into the IT industry. For them, especially data science or data analytics is one such a field. It will be like an added advantage for you, because in data analytics, your particular domain knowledge is also important. If you are, I mean, generally, if it is any field also, as I said, if any domain also, SQL is important. But again, if you want to, move, or if you want to start your career into data analytics, SQL is data analytics, you will be, it will be the perfect decision for you, for especially for non-IT students or professionals to transit into the career. Choosing data analytics is the best decision because you will be from different domains, right? Your domain knowledge is also act as an added advantage here in data analytics. If you have some experience in any non-IT field, that experience also will help you to get a job into data analytics. Okay, just for knowledge purpose, I'm saying this. But irrespective of the domain, whatever domain is that are you from, or whatever domain you want to enter, you need to learn SQL perfectly. You need to have some knowledge on SQL. Okay.
Ma'am, I have one query.
Yes, please.
If we done with SQL, I mean, if we completely, if we become a commanding in SQL, then can we work as directly as an
Directly as an analyst.
analytics or as a SQL developer in industry?
In SQL developer, you can start your career as a SQL developer. So whatever I'm teaching here, once after giving the introduction, after some time, at the end, I will show you the course content also. Whatever topics I'm going to cover, I'll show you that course content. So after learning SQL, you can enter as a SQL developer. Okay, you can start your career as a SQL developer with this course. With this SQL course, you can start your career as a SQL developer. Again, depending on the domains you enter, or in that particular domain, along with the SQL developer, if not SQL developer, if you want to enter into any another domain, along with the SQL, you need to learn any one of the subject of that domain. If we particularly talk about data analytics or data science, if I talk about data analytics, along with the SQL, you need to learn any of the visualization tool. We have some visualization tools. Okay, we have some visualization tools in the market like Tableau or Power BI. Sorry, guys. We have some visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI. We have many visualization tools actually, but Tableau and Power BI is the most used visualization tools nowadays. Maybe you already have heard about these terms, right? Because data analytics is having huge demand in the market, and you can see everywhere some words like data science, data analytics, Tableau, Power BI, right? And along with the data analytics, of course, we have the same demand for full stack also. Full stack development, right? That will completely comes into developing part. You need to learn whatever languages you will learn here, that will be completely belongs to coding part. If you are okay with the coding, you can learn this like that. There are many domains. If as you asked Sachin about the analyst, if you want to start your career as an analyst along with the SQL, you need to learn any of the visualization tool, maybe Tableau or Power BI. Both of these visualization tools are, and all of the visualization tools, no coding will be involved here. There will be no coding. The tools will be simple. Whatever you want to learn, you can learn very easily, especially from non-IT graduates or professionals. If you learn any subject where you can get the equal importance or equal salary of full stack developers, and without coding, in the sense, you can choose this visualization tools. Okay, if you want to become analyst, along with the SQL, you need to learn any of the visualization tool. Okay, Sachin. I hope I answered your question. Now let's get started. Okay, let's try to understand what is SQL. So before understanding what is SQL, let's talk something about data first of all. Okay, so why data became so important nowadays? From many years, data generation has increased a lot, right? We have started generating a lot of data today. And if I if you want me to say the reason behind that, if we talk about the data generation or the reason for the data generation, I can say it as the digitalization. Right? This is the one of the main important reason, that is digitalization. Because of this, data is generating a lot nowadays. Digitalization in the sense, you all know that we are using a lot of applications in our smartphones, right? And we are like maybe we're spending a lot of time with the internet. Maybe Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are watching many series by by using many of the OTT platforms. We are even doing a lot of online shopping. Everything is nowadays mostly, we are doing all these things by using some applications or websites. Basically, by using with the internet, we are doing all these things, right? Not only the applications or smartphones, if I talk about any gadgets in the market, all our gadgets which we are using today are almost, most of the gadgets are connected to the internet, right? Like maybe smartwatches, we have smart TVs, even, TVs also, we are connecting with the internet. We have ACs, we have something we have something called as Alexa series. We are using many such gadgets, which we are connecting to the internet and we are using in our daily life. Am I right? Yes, please, let's keep this session interactive. Please respond to me. Okay. So whatever applications or whatever gadgets we are using, we are connecting them to the internet, right? See, what is happening, we are using all these applications or gadgets in our daily life, right? What is happening with all these things in the sense which we are doing, we are generating a lot of data by using these applications. And this is the reason I can say data became very super important for us. And within this data only, very interesting insights will be present by using this data, by understanding or analyzing the data only. Nowadays, every business is, every business is going on, every business is happening because of this data only. Correct?
Because of the day-to-day data is increasing and we have to store the data.
Correct. We have to store the data in the proper way.
So,
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So then
If
only we can run our business. We can
correct.
store. Yeah.
Correct. Whatever you said, exactly correct. And that is what I am going to say, right? Because of the data only, whatever businesses is going on, whatever applications we are using. If I talk about, if I just given you some examples about, all the examples of social media, many gadgets, we are using online shopping, everything, whatever we are using, all that apps or websites will store data and they will maintain the data. To maintain their data, they will use a concept called as database. Okay. So for that reason only, I'm just trying to give all these examples. But before that, before understanding what is database, let me just explain you some kind of, let's talk about let's talk a little bit about the history. Okay. So we have many revolutions so far, right? In mankind, we have many revolutions. So first revolution is basically man-made. Okay. That means the first revolution is man-made. That means whatever we do previously, like years ago, whatever we do, we did that. Guys, just a second. Sorry, guys, really sorry. So I'm saying that we have many revolutions, right? In the first revolution, in the histories many years ago, everything we done was completely man-made, right? But all the work is done by using humans only, right? Next, we get, after some years, we get into the second revolution. That is the second revolution is about machines. If I talk technically, that revolution is called as industrial revolution. Okay, first is man-made revolution and the second one is industrial revolution. Previously, everything was done by humans only, by human hands only. But second, we got the we immediately we got some machines. Basically, we'll call it as industrial revolution, right? Here, what happens? All the things which was done with the help of human hands, they were that was moved to machines, right? Machines came into the existence, and by using the machines, all the work was done, right? Then what is the as a human, whatever we done by using human hands, as it moved to the machines, what are the advantages we got generally? Productivity increased, right? If you all know, like, if by using humans, if we do work like on the daily basis, if we can able to complete 10% of the work by after introducing of the machines, we finish the work so faster, correct? So in that way, I can say productivity is increased, right?
Yeah, we can reduce the manpower.
Yes, when compared to the manpower, productivity increased by using the machines, right? So productivity increased, and I can say efficiency of work, and the work is more simplified, right? I'm not writing all the points here, just I'm explaining you for your understanding purpose. So you almost all of us know about these points, but again, just to introduce about the database, I'm saying this first, and everything was done by using humans only. Next, machines came into existence, and by using machines or with the industrial revolution, productivity got increased. Whatever productions or whatever work was done previously, instead of manpower, with the help of the machines, the work was done more effectively, and the productivity increased, and the work was finished more in a very simple manner, right? So after that, next revolution, I can say it is a revolution of computers, right? Next, computers came into existence, right? That was, I can say, third generation. That was the time where this everything started, like software development, web development, everything came into the picture. And here the things went from machine to software, where we started doing things in more autonomous manner, right? The way of storing the data is increased. Previously, whenever we are talking about industrial revolution, if we want to store the data, we used to store everything in maybe registers, books, like that, correct? But after computers came into existence, we started storing everything in the computers only, right? So this is one of the revolution, correct? And next revolution is the fourth revolution, and I can say current revolution is internet. Previously, we have only computers, but after some years, internet came into the picture. With the revolution of internet, what happened? Data generation has become, we started generating a lot of data with the help of internet, right? Here, this, I can say, this internet is current revolution is almost, I can say, internet only. By using internet nowadays, also everything is, as I said just now, as I given some examples, all the smartphones, all the gadgets, whatever we are using, we are connecting to the internet. And by using this internet only, basically in our, without, can you just imagine a one day of your life without a Wi-Fi or without internet? We cannot, right? We cannot do our office works. We cannot do anything literally. Most of us, especially from the COVID time, or especially from the, when demonetization happened, what we did, we started using digital payments only. We are started using Paytm, Phone Pays, Google Pays, and even we are making many payments, all the transactions in the internet. Maybe from the COVID, we started, using online shopping. Many of the things which we are doing today, we are depending on the internet, smartphones, applications, gadgets, right? That is the importance of internet. And whatever I said just now, with all these things, data is generating a lot. Okay. Now, maybe this, for now we have 4 revolutions. Maybe in near future, maybe future people will discuss that. I don't know, but maybe they can talk. The next revolution can be AIs, right? Now also we can see how AIs are being invented or how AIs are being used, but we don't know. Maybe this will be the next revolution. We don't know about it. As AI didn't took over everything for now, we will say whatever we are living today is this 4th revolution only. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying all these things in the sense, we need to understand the, how computers came into picture, how internet came into picture. By the internet, after internet, how, you can see from last 5-6 years, the usage of internet is increased a lot, maybe from demonetization or maybe from the, what we call lockdown, due to COVID pandemic time. We are depending on the internet a lot. With all these things, the data is generating a lot. If we are having this much of data, there should be some better way for storing the data, correct? There should be some such such a, I can say, best ways to store the data, right? Here, however, we are increasing, as I said, we are generating a data a lot. So, however, we are increasing the data a lot, that, we should have a better system. We should have a better ways to store the data and to analyze the data also, right? Here comes a picture of databases. Okay. Before that, before explaining about the database, let me ask you one question. As I am talking about the, as we are having a huge amount of data, as we are generating huge amount of data, as I said, we need some good ways of storing the data, right? Correct? We should have some good ways to store the data. If I actually think about storage capacity, if I ask you one question, like, we all are using smartphones nowadays, right? We all have smartphones, and if I ask you what is the memory of your phone, what will be your answer? Maybe you will say 128 GB to 56 GB only, right? If I talk about the phone, your phone storage memory, correct?
Yeah.
It will be like almost 128 GB and 256 GB, something like that. We are using the phone storage also, we increased. Previously, we used to use only maybe 64 GB phones. Before that, less than that, but like 16 GB, 64 GB only. But nowadays, we are, we are preferring to buy a better storage device. But suppose if I ask you currently, suppose if you are using 128 GB or 256 GB of mobile phone, and if I ask you that, can you buy a new phone of 16 GB? What will be your answer? Is that yes or no? Can you buy 8 GB or 16 GB mobile phones nowadays?
Useful.
Yes, that is correct. Actually, we can buy. Maybe if we talk, personally, maybe we don't prefer to buy. But if I can say, if you can even buy a 8 GB and 16 GB phone, and you will never run out of memory. Is that possible? Of course, it is possible. But how it is possible?
No, not possible, I'm saying.
Because of cloud. It is possible. If we can use 8 GB and 16 cloud storage, right? That is what I wanted to say. If we use 16 GB or 64 GBs also, we can store the data with the help of clouds. Correct? Now, physical storage is moved to, now, storage is also moved from physical devices to cloud storage. Correct? Cloud storage in the sense, if we talk about, we have many applications. If we talk about Google, we have something like Google Drive. Yes, we have many things, many cloud storage applications where we can store our data. If I talk only about Google, we are using something called as Google Photos, where we can store our photos in the cloud. We can use Google Drive, where we can store our any of the documents in the drive. Like that, we have many cloud storages where we can store all that data. Instead of storing in the phone, we are directly storing in the clouds only. And the most important advantage of using cloud is that we can access the files and we can access the photos from anywhere we want, right? Even if you can log in from your laptop, and you can access that from a smartphone, you can access everywhere. We can access because of the clouds, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the importance. See, I know whatever I'm saying, everything so far, everything is already known to you. But the reason I'm repeating all these concepts is to, make you understand how we are related to data and how, how we are improving, or how we are, literally day by day, how we are moving towards the completely, very organized way of structured way of living, right? To do all these things, to maintain all these things, as we are saying, we are generating a data a lot. And as we are generating a lots of data, we should definitely have some good ways of storing the data, right? Here comes the concept of databases. Now let's try to understand what is database and what is SQL. Okay. All right. The reason why I'm giving you all these scenarios is that first you need to understand the importance of data and how, how we personally are involving in the world of data. That's where you can understand the need of, learning about the databases, SQL and everything, and how we are going to, use this database. Whatever concepts you are reading, whatever concepts you're understanding here, whatever concepts you're going to learn in SQL subject, in real time, how we are applying that, all the things also you can understand. You should understand. That's the reason I'm saying all these examples. Whatever applications we are using, as I given you so many applications, smartphones, applications, all the apps or online shopping, everything, everywhere, we will store the data in the form of databases only. Okay. Now let's understand what is database and what is SQL. Okay. So for whatever I explained, I hope you got my points, right? I hope it is clear for you. Now let's start our actual concept. Okay. Let's try to understand what is database and what is SQL. Okay. And the reason I asked you before that how many students are from IT background and non-IT background is to just to understand, to start the way of my explanation about database and SQL. If you are from non-IT background, you are learning these concepts for the first time. So in every batch, I will have some such students. So that's the reason, by taking one simple example, I will try to explain you what is database and what is SQL. Okay. So let me do that. If you already have some knowledge on what is database and what is SQL, that is okay. But still, just try to listen this example so that you can really relate what is these things with the real time. Okay. So imagine there is a school maybe. Okay. This is one school. And we have some classes in that school. Like that, I have some, I'm just taking two examples. I have class 1. Okay. And I have class 2 here. In school, I have many classes, but I'm taking examples of 2 classes, class 1 and class 2. Okay. In this school, in every class, they will maintain their students' data in one register. Previously in our childhoods also, if you remember, most of us in our classes, there was a register, right? Where they used to take some attendance or something like that. So here I'm taking the same example. In every class, they are maintaining a register. Okay. In that registers, suppose I'm talking about class 1. Okay. In every class we have register. If I'm talking about class 1 also, they have their own register. And in that register, they are maintaining all the students' data. Like maybe student ID or roll number. Okay. Whatever it is. Student ID, maybe student name. Okay. And some other details like student ID, student name, maybe their attendance, and maybe their marks details. Okay, they are storing something like this. Okay, if they store the details, everything of the student details in register. Okay, we are talking about the physical storage devices, that is registers, books. Okay, now what happened? There is the principal of the school. One day, the principal of the school wanted to see the performance of the students. Okay, and he called his peon. Okay, he called his peon and he asked his peon, go to class 1. Okay, C1. Okay, go to class C1 and bring the register. I want to see the performance of the students. Okay, this peon, what he did, he went to the class 1, he took the register and he gave that register to the principal. Okay, here in that register, we have all the students' details. Now principal is watching that or seeing that, analyzing that details. Okay, this is what about if we store the data in the registers, in the form of registers. If I take the same examples, if I talk about the same examples, instead of registers, if we store the data in the computers, how it will be? Let's see. Okay, instead of registers, instead of registers in the same school, if they store the details in any computer, okay, in the computer, or if it is a big school or big university, what they will do, they have lots of students, right? So they will use databases to store the data. Okay, in the computers, they will use database concept. They will use databases to store the data. Okay, if they store the data in the form of databases, this whatever registers I'm saying here, instead of registers, they are storing the data in the databases. Okay, inside the databases, they will create tables. Okay, and inside the tables, they will store the data. If I am talking about any of the university, maybe JNTU, Usmania, we have many universities. In that universities, we have, many students, right? Thousands of students, maybe lakhs of students, to store all those data under one university. I'm not talking about individual branches. If I want to maintain all the data in one form, all that university-based students' data, I'll definitely use databases, because to maintain big data or huge data, the storing the data in the databases will be very easy. We will see that in going forward classes. For now, just try to understand, instead of registers, we are trying to store the data in the form of databases. Inside the computers, instead of books, they are using computers, and inside the computers, they are using a concept called as databases. Inside the databases, they are storing the data of students. Okay, now here again, in this book, if they are storing the data, whenever principal wanted to analyze the data, he called the peon and he said, go and bring the book, right? Bring the register, right? In the same way, here also, if they have any of the principal or any of the dean of that university, he wanted to analyze the students' performance, and now the data is in the form of databases or computers. He cannot ask peon to go and bring computer, right? Whenever he wanted, in this example, whenever he want to analyze about the students' details, he talked to peon, he communicated to the peon what is his requirement, right? He said to peon that go and bring the register. While saying, he might use some language, right? According to their, maybe he will communicate it in English, right? Or Hindi or Telugu, according to whatever language they belongs to, whatever place they belongs to. That principal might use any of the language to make peon understand what he want, right? Am I right? Guys?
Yes, Divya, exactly. So the
Basically,
preferred language based on their location,
based
they
on
used
their
to, yeah.
exactly based on their location, this principal might used some language to make peon understand what he want. In the same way, if this principal or if anyone, if we want to analyze the data present inside the databases, we will use one language to communicate the databases or to make database understand what is our requirement or what we want. That language is called as SQL.
Yes.
Okay. That language is called as SQL. Okay. As principal, how he used some language to make his peon understand what he want. The same principle, if we store his students' details in the databases, he should use SQL as a language to make database understand what he want, what exactly he want, what kind of data he want, what is his requirement, to make database understand or to retrieve the data from the databases, to get the data from the databases, we will use a language called as SQL here. Just like how he used some language to communicate with the Pune to make Pune understand what he wants, SQL is also a language which we will use to communicate with the database. Okay, am I clear so far?
Exactly.
Maybe this is a simple example, but if I relate like this, you will understand, what is database and what is SQL very easily. That is the reason I will explain all these examples. So here I'm saying database is a place where we will store the data, and SQL is a language where we will use to, communicate with the database, right? So now let me clear the screen and let me give you some technical definitions. Okay. So if I talk, in the previous example, as I said, database, if I want to tell you the technical definitions, database is nothing but a collection of data. Okay. Database is nothing but collection of data where we will store all the data. Or else I can say it's database is the collection of data, or a place where we can store, where we store all the data, right? Okay. Here in databases, what we will do? Inside the databases, basically we will create tables. We will store data in the form of tables. Let's leave this for now. I will explain this also with one example. For now, just concentrate on database is nothing but collection of data, or where we will store all the data, we will call it as a database. Okay. As I said, SQL is nothing but in the first sheet, whenever I'm starting, I said SQL is nothing but structured query language. This is the full form of SQL, that is structured query language. But if you want me to tell the technical definition of what is SQL exactly, I will say SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the database. Okay. As I said just now in the previous example, how maybe they will use English or Hindi as a language to communicate with the Pune. If we maintain the data in the databases to communicate with the databases, to make database understand what we want, we will use a language called as SQL. Okay. I hope this 2 points to the 2 definitions is clear for you. Great. Yes, you can even respond in chats. Please, let's keep this session interactive. Then only I can understand whether you can able to understand me or not. Okay, for now we saw what is database and what is SQL. Suppose I'm saying that we are storing the data in the form of tables, right? So this is the Excel file. You all know that. If I store any data in the Excel file, how we will store? Let's see about employees table. Suppose this is my table name, employees. I have some columns in my employees table. That is maybe employee ID, right? Maybe employee name, maybe salary, right? Okay, let's talk about 3 columns here. Suppose I am storing employees details in these 3 columns, employee ID, employee name, and salary, and I'm inserting some data here. Maybe one, maybe Raj, maybe randomly I'm giving some names and some data here. Okay. Like this, I entered some data. Okay. If in the Excel file, if I want to enter this 2 rows of data, if I want to enter this data, I will write like this. Here, employees will be my table name. Okay. Employee ID, employee name, employee salary will be my column name. Basically, this is our table name. Okay. If we store the same details, same information in the database also, we will store in the same way. We will store in the form of tables only. Okay. There also employees will be our table name. Generally, the output, how we will create these tables, how we will insert the data will be different. But after doing that, the output, or if we want to see the data, we can see like this only, in this format only. Here, employees will be the table name, and vertical part, this one, is called as columns. Basically, we will create table with the rows and columns. By using rows and columns, we will create table. Okay. Horizontal part is called as row. Vertical part is called as column. Okay. This is row. That means I entered two details here. This employee ID 1, employee name Raj, salary for 40,000 will be my first row. Okay. This will be my second row. So I can say horizontal part, like horizontal line, we can understand it as row, and the vertical part, that means this employee ID, this employee name, and salary is called as columns. Okay, this thing is called as, we have three columns in this table. Basically, employees is my table name, employee ID is column, one column, employee name is second column, salary is my third column. This is called as columns. This is called as rows. Basically, tables are created by using rows and columns. Okay. Am I clear?
Yes.
So this is what, maybe I'm saying very basic points. Maybe most of you already knew this, but I will say like this only to make people understand if they are completely new to SQL. Okay, in the maybe first classes, I will say like this. If I say like this only, they can really relate. We all can really understand what is database and what is tables. As I said, we will create the tables by using rows and columns, right? So we have three columns here. Employee ID is one column, employee name is one column, salary is one column, and we have the data like this. This is first row. This is second row. Okay. All right. So whenever this is the Excel file, I'm just writing data like this. Whenever I store the same data in the databases, first I will create the database. Inside the database, I will create a table. Okay. Inside the database, I will create the table. Inside the tables, I will insert some data in the form of rows and columns as we saw just now. Something like if you want me to relate this, what is database and what is tables, I can say in any computers, if we are saving any files or photos, what we will do, we will have some drives over there, C drive, D drive kind of thing, correct? You all know we will have some drives over there, maybe C drive, maybe D drive, like that. Inside that drives, we will create some folders, correct? Inside that folders, we will just create some files, or we will directly inside that folders, maybe we will save some files or pics, something like that. If we store any of our documents or pictures in our laptops, this will be like that. Like we will have one drive, C drive or D drive. Inside that drive, we will have folder. We will create one folder. For better management, we can directly save the pictures in the folder also, in the D drive also. But we cannot understand what belongs to what, right? For that reason, to maintain, in a proper way, to keep our files in a proper way, basically we will create a folders, and inside the folders we will keep some files or pics, right? In the same way, if we are talking about the databases, the C drive or D drive is called as something called as schemas here. Okay, inside the schemas, we will create the database. Inside the database, we will create tables, and inside the tables we will insert the data. Okay.
Yeah.
What is schemas in the sense? In the schemas is nothing but collection of databases. We will see list of databases. It's not okay. Whatever databases we will have in our system, in our any of the tool, in any of it, all the databases, the list of how we will see all the list of folders inside the D drive. In the same way, we can see the list of databases inside the schemas. I will show you practically when I'm showing you the MySQL workbench. Okay, so we have something called as schemas. Inside the schemas, we will create database. Database is nothing but something like folders. Inside the folders only, we will create the files, right? In the same way, inside the database, we will create the tables. Inside the tables, we will insert the data. Okay. So am I clear so far?
Yeah, it's clear.
Great. So this is about the basic understanding of what is database, what is SQL, what is tables. Okay. And we will insert the data inside the table. Tomorrow's class, we will see everything practically, how we will create database, how we will create tables and all. Before that, let me tell you some more terms called as. So far, I said what is SQL for you. Now, let's talk about here this class. This course is all about MySQL. In real time, you can see, you can hear many terms like this. What is MySQL? Maybe SQL Server, right? Like that, we have many things. You may get doubt that what is MySQL, what is SQL Server, all these things. SQL is something like structured query language, that is universal declared language. Universally declared language or universally accepted language is called as SQL, which we will use it to maintain which we will use it to communicate with the databases, which we saw. Okay, the language or the subject will be only one, that is SQL. We have many concepts in the SQL. We will learn all those concepts. And this MySQL, SQL Server, or we have Oracle SQL, we have PostgreSQL, like that. We have many of the SQL tools. These are called as tools. Tools which we are used to write the SQL queries. To maintain this databases, we will use
Communicate with the
SQL.
database.
Yes, to communicate with the database, we will use SQL, and SQL is one of the language, but we have many tools. We will use by using in these tools, we will use SQL language only, but basically by using these tools, we'll communicate with the database. These are all the different products from different companies. MySQL is a product of Oracle. SQL Server is a product of Microsoft. Like that, we have many tools in the market. Like how many companies are there? Some companies, they have their own products. In the same way, how we have in the concept is smartphone only. In the smartphone, we have many companies, right? Many companies in Android, we have iPhones, like that. But the usage of smartphone is all the same, correct?
Yeah.
In the same way, the usage of SQL is one of the subject. The concepts over there is same, but we have different products from different companies. If we learn any of this, if you learn SQL, we can use any of these products. If you know how to use a smartphone, you can handle any of the company phone, right? In the same way, if you learn SQL, you can use any of these tools. Here, the tool which we are going to learn in our course is MySQL. That is a product from Oracle. And the reason why we are using MySQL is that MySQL is an open source platform. Okay, that means open source platform in the sense, to maintain MySQL, companies need not pay. MySQL is freely available. Okay. If any of the startup company or any of the MNCs, if they want to maintain their database in MySQL tool, no need of making any payment to the Oracle people. They will freely get this MySQL tool, and they will use MySQL as their database to store the data. That is freely available. Whereas SQL Server, to maintain the SQL Server, all the companies need to pay some amount to Microsoft to maintain the SQL Server. Previously, we had one more tool from Oracle, that is, we call it as Oracle SQL. Okay. We have Oracle SQL. I can say from Oracle, we have one product called as Oracle SQL only. Oracle is the product. That one is not open source. To maintain that, we need to, companies need to pay amount to the Oracle company. Previously, we had Oracle SQL and SQL Server. To maintain both of them, your business peoples or any people, any organizations, to maintain Oracle SQL, they need to pay amount to the Oracle company. If they wanted to maintain SQL Server, they need to pay amount to the Microsoft company. But nowadays, previously, few years ago, Oracle introduced one more tool called as MySQL, and it declared that tool as an open source. Anywhere from anyone, they can use MySQL, database freely. That is the reason most of the companies, as if we are, if we can, any tool is available for us freely, and almost there is no difference between those two tools. Everyone is try to use the freely available tool only, right? Any business people. So for that reason, most of the companies nowadays are using MySQL tool only. As it is freely available, most of the companies, maybe startups, maybe MNCs, many of them are using MySQL only. But again, if any of the companies use SQL Server also, no problem. Whatever we learn, the concepts will be same, the syntaxes will be same. If you learn MySQL in this course, even if your company is using SQL Server also, the syntaxes will be same. No difference at all. Okay, everything will be same. But the tool which I'm going to show you all the syntaxes is MySQL tool. Again, there are two types here. There are some tools which comes under RDBMS. We have one term called as RDBMS here, that is called as Relational Database Management System. Okay. We have something called as RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. That is nothing but I said we will store the data in the form of tables, right? If we store the data in the form of multiple tables, and if we create tables such that we can, if we maintain the data in the form of tables, and if we can relate all the tables to each other. Okay, if we create the data, if we store the data in the form of tables, and we will create a tables in such a way that we will relate all the tables with each other. We will create tables in such a way that we can relate all the tables. That means if we have in real time also, we will have some mini tables. Suppose I have 20 tables in my database. In my 20 tables, I have many data, but I will create the tables in such a way that I can relate all those 20 tables with each other. Whatever data I have in those 20 tables, if I want, I can relate that data together. We have many concepts going forward. We will learn that concepts, how we will store the data in a relatable manner, what are all the concepts there, what we will, everything we will see very practically. But for now, just understand, if we can store the data in the form of tables, and if we create the tables in such a way that we can relate all the tables together, okay, all the tables together, that concept is called as RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System. That is, if we are maintaining the database management system in a relatable way, if we create all the tables in a, that we can relate to each other, that concept is called as RDBMS. And the tools comes under RDBMS are these tools: Oracle SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL. We have many tools. You can even explore on yourself later. Whatever tools comes under RDBMS, the concept will be same. Whatever we are, learning, or in this course, the SQL language, the same thing will be applicable for all these tools which comes under RDBMS. Instead of this, we have something called as NoSQL. You may heard something about NoSQL also. Without RDBMS, without relating the tables, if we store the tables, that is something called as NoSQL. Okay, something like this is the Relational Database Management System. If we store the data in the form of tables, but we are not relating the tables, that is again completely different. Something called as we have SQL and we have NoSQL. Here you are learning SQL, and the SQL comes under RDBMS, and all the tools which I had just mentioned previously. We have many other tools also. If you learn SQL, you can join in any of these developer, like SQL Server developer, MySQL developer, like that. We have another concept called as NoSQL, that is completely different. The tools comes under NoSQL is MongoDB especially. There are some tools. If you learn SQL, you cannot, this concept is different. You cannot use this MongoDB tool, that is different. Okay. I hope now you got about the you understood about the difference between what is SQL and what is NoSQL. And what are all the tools comes under SQL? All that tools you can able to use if you learn the subject. And the tool which we are going to use in our course is MySQL. Am I clear, guys?
Yes, Divya, that's clear.
So I hope this is the basic understanding about everything. And today is our first class. Starting from today, the course duration is of 40 days and the course's fees is of only 2,000. Previously, we used to charge 6,000, but from last 2 batches, DURGASOFT is giving some good discount. The course fee is of 2,000 only. The duration is of 40 days. And what are all the course concepts? I will, what are all the course content? I will show you quickly. But before that, let me tell you. First 2-3 days, maybe first 3-4 days to understand the basic concepts of SQL, I will use simple databases only. That is maybe employees table, students table, and all. Now I just want you to differentiate, what is special in my course, how I am different from other courses available in the market. In the sense, mostly in every institute, you also may know, most of them what they will do, they will explain all their concepts by using some simple databases. Here in my course, I don't do that. I will use a real-time database to explain all the concepts. That database is nothing but Netflix. I will going to use a Netflix database to explain you all the all the what do you call, all the course content or all the concepts in SQL. I'm going to use Netflix database here, Netflix, or I can say OTT platform database, whatever database I'm going to use. No Girish, no weekends. If needed in this 40 days of time, no Sundays, no Saturdays also. If I think, see, some batches, they can understand quickly, they can understand slowly, right? If required, if I think that I'm unable to complete it in 40 days, if not 40 days, we may extend 1-2 days also, but it's not needed in 40 days, we will complete. If needed, I may take any one of the Saturday. Again, it again completely depends on the batch, or the pace, how we are going, how much slowly we are completing the courses. My only intention will be like, I won't skip any concepts, I won't explain any concepts in a hurry. I will explain all the concepts by taking real-time examples, so that once you finish this course, if you have some gap in your careers, if you want to start your career as a SQL developer, even with some 3 to 4 years experience also, you can do that after finishing my course. In that way, that is the reason I will use real-time database, because once you get into your jobs, you will deal with big data only. You cannot, if I explain you all the concepts by showing some 5-6 rows of data, that will be, of course the concepts will be same, but in real-time data you won't work on 3-4 rows, right? There will be thousands of rows there. So that's the reason I will explain with real-time database. We have thousands of rows here, so that you can really relate with what you have experienced. And for each and every concepts, I will explain you with some real-time examples only. We will do it very practically, so that you can understand everything very clearly, and you can apply all these concepts in your real-time experience also. So the database here I'm going to use is a Netflix, or I can say any OTT platforms. The database will be same, or else I can directly say it as movies database. Okay, if we store any of the, if we can see any of the OTT platforms, or if we can see any of the, we have some companies also, maybe like music production companies, movies companies. I'll say going forward, whenever I'm explaining this database, I will say for that companies also the database will be same. Okay, now let me just quickly show you. Here I have a movies database, which I just said you. On this database only, we will learn all the concepts. You can see this are all the tables. We have many tables here. Starting from here, we can have many tables, and each of the tables we will have some thousand rows. We will, once you finish this course with this kind of real-time database, whatever database you may use in your real time, you can really work, you can apply the concepts there very easily. Let me show you one more thing. And topic wise, I will explain everything. And here, if you can see, I will give you questions. Along with that, I will say you everything very practically, so that you can able to, learn the concepts very practically. We will solve the questions. I will give you the questions, and we will solve everything like this. With the examples, we will learn everything. You can see here every concepts, whatever I will do it, I will give you the questions, and I will explain you everything, and I will give you assignments, so that whatever you learned, it will be very practical. It will be in a very practical way. Okay. And let me quickly show you the course content. 1 second. So this is the course content which we are going to cover in this class. Introduction to databases and SQL is done in this class. Tomorrow, I will explain you about the limitations of Excel. That means today we saw what is database and what is SQL, and we also saw, this is how we will store the data in the Excel as well as the SQL. If we can able to store the data in the form of Excel, then what is the need of databases? What is the need of SQL? So for that understanding, this is again a completely, an additional concept I can say. Just to give you the complete idea, I will discuss quickly about limitations of Excel. As we can even store the data in the form of Excel file, then what is the need of databases? So for that reason, first I will explain you about the limitations of Excel and how we are going to overcome all those limitations by using databases. Then we will start creating the databases, creation of databases and tables. Next, I will show you the MySQL installation process. Then we have many concepts called as data types, SQL commands. These are all the commands available. Next, we have integrity constraints. Okay. No need of, if you want, you can take running notes, Girish, but no need of taking running notes also. You can just listen to my class carefully. But on the daily basis, whatever the classes are done, that videos will be uploaded for you. Once you get registered with us, we will give you one link. In that link, all the videos will be uploaded. If you miss any class also, you can watch that video. And you can ask me doubts any time you want. And coming to the notes, you can see here, as I opened few files here, this is completely SQL files. Whatever I teach on the daily basis, topic wise, I will upload these SQL files for you in that link. I don't believe in, storing the data on giving some theory notes separately and syntaxes separately, like, in some Word files. Instead of doing that, whenever you are revising the concepts, instead of, accessing the syntaxes from somewhere and reading theory part from somewhere, what I will do, in my classes, I will write everything here. Okay. So I will upload all these files on the topic wise. Here only you can see all the theory part, and below that you will see all the syntaxes. So that in one place only you will get all the notes. Okay. Like this, if you can see, this is my this will be my theory part. At the bottom only, continuously topic wise theory part, and you will see the syntaxes, you will see the everything like that. Okay. I will upload all the files for you. It will be easy for you. In one place, you can just access this file. I will show you how to, after downloading, how you can access this file. Once you open that file, you can get to see everything there, theory as well as the syntaxes along with that example. So that in the one place, you can finish one topic. So like that, I will do regularly in every batches. In the same way, once I'm done with each and every concept, I will upload all the files. You can access this. And once I said here, up to here, we have next integrity constraints, select clause, where clause. These are all related. Whenever we are discussing SQL commands, the select clause and where clause will also included. Once we are done with this, I can say the very basic concepts will be finished of understanding how we are storing the data and all. Up to here, to make you understand, I will use basic databases only, like employees table, students table, like that. Once we are done with this, I will give you the introduction and explanation of our live project, that is movies database. I will show you how many tables are there, what is that database all about, and I will give you that database for you, and I will show you how to restore that database in your systems. From there, just give me 1 minute, I will just close the session. From there, our real-time concepts will start. That is order by clause, SQL basic operators. We have many operators, range operator, membership operator. We have many clauses, distinct clause, limit clause. We have some wildcards inside the limit clause. We have many functions. Okay. After that, here comes our main concept called as joins, which is the most important concept of SQL. 90% of the time in our real time, we will use joins only. That is, we have many types of joins. We will learn each and every join very practically by solving many examples. Next, we have concept called as regular expression, group by clause, having clause, aggregate functions. Next, we have subqueries. We have two types of subqueries. Next, normalizations, normal forms, ER diagrams. Next, concepts called as views, indexes, temporary tables, stored procedures. Still here, our concepts will be done. After everything, I will discuss one class about discussing about the important interview questions. If you can have any doubts also, like, we will take 1 or 2 classes at the end so that we can discuss this. If you have any doubts, we can discuss there. We can discuss about the important points and all. With this, our course will be done. Am I clear?
Yeah, great, Divya. It's clear.
Perfect. So this is about it. As I said, the course duration is of 40 days starting from today, and course fees is of 2,000. And you can also see our admin people gave the link, and once again, I'm sharing it. If you are interested, you can register with us. You will also get the mail from our admin people about registering process and all. And let's meet in tomorrow's class and let's continue. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
One more thing, Divya. Do we have any weekend batches?
No, not weekend. I will
Only
explain only
weekdays.
from Monday. Yeah, I personally explain only weekdays.
Got it. No problem.
Okay, I have various timings, but yeah, is this time not suitable for you?
Not like that.
Actually,
Is it possible to make it
one
like
more,
1 hour
one more.
early?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, guys, I forgot to say. Maybe like for 1 week, we may have this timing. After 1 week, our timing will be changed. From 9 to 10, we will take. Sorry, 8 to 9, we will take. Sorry, my bad. From 8 to 9, we will take.
Yeah. Then that
Our
will be
timing will be 1 hour before. For now, we are, we are taking from 9 to 10, right? After 1 week, in this 1 week or 3-4 days, initial days, I will take this timing only. Maybe from next Monday, we will change the timing from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Think about everything, and if you are interested, please get registered with us, and let's meet in first 2 classes. Will have demo classes. Tomorrow is also a demo class. Let's meet in tomorrow's class. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome.